So today, I'm finally filming this get to know me video. I've been thinking about how I'm supposed to film this. Like, sit down, stand up. I don't know. But anyways, I have finally decided that I'm just gonna film it. And I'm about to do my makeup, so I thought I should film it while I do my makeup. Hopefully this camera can just stay like this. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start with foundation. I have already done my brows just so we can get that out of the way. Mika is sleeping, so I'm trying not to be so loud. Let's see the questions that I have. I have basically I got ton of questions that are basically the same thing. So I'm guessing that majority of you just want to know the same thing. So I have a lot. Like, it's a lot of questions. Thank you guys. I didn't know that you guys were so interested in getting to know me. So I'm guessing this is a good thing. I'm quite happy that so many people sent in questions. Okay, let's start with the first one. Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing. Majority of the questions are the same, so I'm gonna pick like the 5 main questions here, because I guess almost everyone asks the same thing. Yeah. So the first one I'm gonna start with is how old are you? Yes. I think I've said my age before. I was born 1991. Hello. Yeah. I was born 1991, October 12th, 1991. So I'm 31 years old. I know. It's probably like, really? Are you 31? Yes, I am. I'm 31. I'm 31 years old. And I was born in Rivers State, Echie. I'm an Echie, Rivers girl. I don't know. I was born in Rivers State, Echie. My father is from Rivers State, and my mother is from. Majority of. What am I doing? I need to start afresh. I am a Nigerian. I was born and raised in Nigeria, Port Harcourt to be precise. I'm from Rivers State. My father is Rivers. My mother is from Imo State, Owerri. Another question was your life back when in Nigeria. Actually, after high school, when I finished my high school, I decided to. First of all, I didn't go to the university immediately because while I was still in high school, like my last years in high school, I got like a part-time job to do photography, to work at a photo studio back in Nigeria. So I was working at a photo studio for like a year before I finished high school. So when I finished high school, I got my diploma and everything. I didn't go straight to university. I decided to learn photography instead. So I went to photo editing / photography school to learn how to edit photos and stuff. Like, because back in Nigeria, editing photos is like big, and like people like to be taken from a background and put in another background. So it was a huge thing. I think it still is. Like, people take big photo frames and everything. Not the way it is here. Okay, so I worked at a photo studio. I did photo editing and I learned how to do photo editing. I learned photography, and I started working at a photo studio for a very long time. And the person I was working for in the photo studio, he had a photo studio in the city in Port Harcourt, and he also had one in the Shell residential area in Shell residential area and Shell industrial area. If you don't know Shell is like an oil company. Yeah, and they have a lot of branches. So one of the branches were in Port Harcourt, and my boss had a photo studio back in that place. So I was working there as a photographer and for photographer for the Shell employees. So that's where I worked for a very long time. Just before I left Nigeria, that's what I was doing before I left Nigeria. So the next question is, how did I meet my husband? I guess I should start from saying to explaining how I left Nigeria in the first place. So one day, I was in my office, my studio, whatever it is you want to call it. I was in my studio back in Shell residential area, and then one of the experts that works there, Scotland or something, I can't remember, and he was visiting because I think he was doing something, visiting or something, and he said he said I would be very good as no, he asked me, do you want to work in Dubai or like in a hotel? I'm like, why would I want to work in a hotel? I don't have any experience in working in a hotel. He said that if I ever want to leave Nigeria, that he could help me with a job, but I'll have to do, the job he said he could help me. He knows the general manager of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. I don't even know what the Ritz-Carlton is. I'm just a girl in Nigeria, and I was I think I was 21 or 20 maybe. Yeah, I was 20. He said he knows the general manager at the Ritz-Carlton because I took a very nice. We became friends. I took a very nice photo of him. I gave him a very good service. He said I would be good in service. So I said, yeah, why not? I didn't really think it would be something that happened. I didn't think it was. I thought he was joking. So late after he left Nigeria, it took like a month or something. I got an email from the general manager in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Spa in Bahrain. The Ritz-Carlton, if you don't know, the Ritz-Carlton is probably the most biggest 5-star hotel in the world. It's in the group of Marriott. Marriott has like Sheraton Hotel, Intercontinental, the Ritz-Carlton. So these hotels. So I got an email telling me that they received someone spoke to them about me, and there is a position opened at one of the hotel restaurants called Primavera. So he asked me if I wanted to apply for this job, that I would have to apply with a CV and like everything. And to be honest with you, I didn't really have a CV because I never needed a CV. I went from high school into photography. So I had to make a CV, but then I told them I don't really have experience in hotels. They said, don't worry, this person that recommended you said you were already very good in service and blah blah blah, and they always train their employees before they start. So I said okay. So I applied for the job. I created a CV and everything. First, I didn't tell my parents or my family first because I was still thinking it was a joke. So I created a passport. Actually, I did do a passport. I didn't have a passport, but that's another story. So I created a CV and an application letter. So I sent it, and immediately it didn't take took like 2-3 days, and they got back to me with an interview. They asked me that they're gonna do an interview with me on Skype. Oh shit. And I'm like, this is becoming real. Really, it is becoming real. So I decided I prepared for this interview. It was a Spanish man and a British lady that had this interview with me on Skype. Skype was a huge thing. Everything was on Skype. So I did this interview with them on Skype where they asked me all these questions and everything. And okay, I still didn't tell anybody. I was still doing this by myself. I didn't tell anyone because I was still thinking that, why would they want a girl from Nigeria? Okay, so After the interview, a week later, they sent me a letter of employment. Oh my god, I need to blend my concealer. So they sent me a letter of employment and telling me congratulations, you've been you've been employed by the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Spa. And then they said, okay. I was like, okay, so what do I do then? What now? And they said, don't worry about the visa and everything. They fixed the visa. All I needed was they wanted my passport photo, like my passport, yeah, like passport photo, and then like the first page of my passport, my international passport. But I didn't have international passport, so I had to go and make an international passport. Now it's becoming real, so I had to tell my family that I am going to live in Bahrain. Bahrain is like an hour from Dubai, so I was always like interchanging from Bahrain to Dubai because of the hotel was massive and it was everywhere in the world. But anyways, my base was Bahrain. So I had to go make international passports, and I told my mother and my father. A lot of people thought that I was going to do prostitution. This is so insane. I remember my uncles and my aunties, they were like, they know this, that they recruit people to go do prostitution in these places, that my father should not let me go because this is what I'm going to do. And I'm like, how can you even this I did job interview, I applied for this job, and you're telling me I'm going to do prostitution. Anyway, it was a big thing, big trouble, big wahala. I still remember it, but I still went on. So my father was a bit like, he trusted me, and he knew that I would never do anything like that. And my mother was excited, my sisters were excited, but my uncle, like, there was a particular uncle that tried to convince my father not to let me go, because he thought he's concluded that I was going to do prostitution. But anyways, after that, all the trouble and the wahala, I got my passport and I sent it to them. So they asked me to do like medical exams, and like I had to do a lot of exams, HIV and all this blah blah blah. My eyesight, ear, my bag, I don't know. I did so much medical exams and I sent it to them. And 2 weeks later, I got my visa. I got a 2 years contract and 2 years visa, residence permit around the UAE, which means I could travel all around the UAE, which is Dubai, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. I didn't go to Saudi Arabia, but but I got a visa that allowed me entry into all these places. The day came, they sent me my ticket and everything. The day came for me to leave. I remember my mother was excited. She was happy for me. My mother is a midwife, if I didn't say that. My mother is a midwife. My father is, he works at he's retired now, but he was in the medical, he worked at the Ministry of Health in River State. So he was also in the medical profession. And my mother is she's still a midwife. So yeah. Anyways, I had like a send-off party with my family, and I left Nigeria. That's how I left Nigeria, and I was picked up on the airport by the hotel, and they took me straight to my apartment, and it was like a dream. I still thought I was dreaming. And then I had a roommate. She was from I had a roommate from Rwanda. I remember her. She was from Rwanda and said, "This is my roommate." We had separate rooms, but we shared a living room and the kitchen and everything. She was working in housekeeping in the hotel, and I was supposed to be like I was employed as a hostess, somebody who welcomed the guests and assigned them tables and everything. Yeah, so I got the job and I came to Bahrain, and I called my family. I'm here. I took a picture of where I'm living and I sent it to them, and I'm like, this is not prostitution. I am here and I'm working in this big hotel, and I'm very proud. My father was very proud, very happy, and he was happy he didn't listen to my uncle. So that's how I left Nigeria. Another question is question number 3, right? How did you meet your husband? So I'm going step by step now. How did you meet your husband? Okay, so while I was working at this hotel at the Ritz-Carlton, we have something we call business lunch. And business lunch is where businesses, companies, they have lunch from 12 to 3. We have a business menu. So I'm a hostess, so I make these reservations and I prepare the tables and everything. So one of these business lunches was Henrik's business lunch with his company. Henrik was working at the United Nations Asia Pacific, UNDP. So that was huge, you know. So he made this reservation. I remember the day he called to make this reservation because he was also he was, I mean, he's a Norwegian. He also moved from Norway. He was working here and he recently got that job. I think 2 months. He was only 2 months in Bahrain before me. So he was also still new, and he got that amazing job, a 4-year contract with the United Nations, and he moved 2 months before me. I came in March. He came in, I think, January 1st. Yeah. So he also was early there, and he made this reservation for his company. They were having some business lunch with some sheikhs, like this rich Arabic people, whatever. Yeah. So when he made this reservation, of course, it's normal. I didn't really think that anything was gonna happen. I didn't really think about it that much. I don't know. So we were in contact because he wanted to make sure everything was okay. After that business lunch, he could still call my office number because I take the phone calls to make reservations for our restaurants. So one day he called and he asked me to go to the movies. So he wanted to go to the movies, and I thought, yeah, why not? I haven't been to the movies yet here, so I would love to go. So I said yes, let's go to the movies. Yeah, that's how I met my husband. We went to the movies and we both exchanged our number, and I don't know, we started talking and we got to know each other. Told him where I'm from. He had never met anyone from Nigeria before. So told him about my country. He told me about his country. I didn't even know that there's a country called Norway. I didn't even know where it was. Alright, so he told me about himself. He's from Norway. I'm from Nigeria, River State. My name is Amara or Amarachi, or he can call me Grace because my second name is Grace. And then we started just hit it off, I guess. So we started dating, and yeah, just happened. So 6 months into us dating, he said, "Why not? Let's get married." And I'm like, Jesus. What's happening now? I haven't even lived in Bahrain for that long. He said, let's get married. Why not? He's ready. He loves me. I love him. And I had to call my mother when I got home. And I told my mother that I met You remember, in Nigeria, it's not so common to talk about these topics with your parents. But I told them that I met someone and I'm getting married. My mother was shocked. I remember she was like, "You just left? Now you're getting married?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's from Norway." So my family was trying to figure out who this man was. I sent them photos, and then we did a video call with my father. So my father said I have to come home and do the traditional stuff. I'm like, of course, I'm not gonna just get married in a foreign land and not pay my bride price. So I came back home. I came back home 2015, I remember, and I came first, and Henrik was supposed to come second. So he came back. He came to Nigeria and paid my bride price. I remember we did a tradition. I didn't have like a huge traditional wedding, but I did traditional bride price. He paid my bride price, and we had drinks, we had the party, my friends and family. Yeah, I remember he was in Nigeria for 2 weeks, and then after he left, and then I came back. I left 1 month later because I needed to stay home a bit longer. And then 1 month later, I came back. We were living. We were married, so we started living together. And then 2 months later, after I came back, we were married and everything. I realized I was pregnant with Lana. So this didn't take long at all. My life just moved so fast. I don't even know what's happening to me anymore. So I was pregnant, and it was a happy and like strange feeling at the same time because everything moved so fast. I still can't. Everything was a bit of a blur as well. Yeah. So I was pregnant with Lana 2 months after we got married. And we lived in Bahrain for until the end of Henrik's contract and my contract in this hotel. So after my contract is finished, they were going to give me 2 more years contract. But Henrik he was going to be transferred to Bangkok, Thailand, after 2 years of there to the office in Bangkok, Thailand. So I had to cancel my contract with the Ritz-Carlton and move away with my husband. And then we moved. That's how we moved to Bangkok. And the story of Bangkok will now begin. So we moved to Bangkok, and by then Lana was already born. Lana was born 2015. She was born in August 1st, 2015, and we moved to Bangkok. Lana was born in Bahrain actually, because we were still living there. We moved to Bangkok, Thailand, January 1st, 2016. That's when we moved. So when we got to Bangkok, Thailand, that's the next question asked me. The next question is, what did I study? My studies in my studies. So now I'm no longer doing photography for people. I'm doing photography for myself. So I've learned it. As I created Instagram account back in Bangkok, and I was just posting myself random stuff. So I decided to go to the university, and I decided I went to the Stanford International University, and I did international business management. That's what I studied in Bangkok, international business management. So after Henrik was there, he had 2 years contract in Bangkok. So after we were there, we had an amazing time in Bangkok. Lana grew up a little bit. 2 years later, they were going to increase his contract, and then we talked about it. He asked me if I want to move back to Norway. I've only been visiting at this point. He said it would be nice to raise the family in Norway. that the lifestyle would be good for the kids. Lana, like, oh, okay, I don't mind. He said I've been to Norway already for vacations and stuff. I've gotten to know a little bit about the country and the weather. So I thought it would be great for us to move back, and we both agreed. And this time I had like 1 year left in my studies, so I didn't finish. It was a 3-year bachelor's degree, and I only did 2. So we moved back to Norway. So the next questions are basically, like a lot of people want to know about life in Norway, the language. There's a lot of questions about life in Norway and a lot of questions about the language, the weather. It's so cute. Oh my god, looking at all these questions just makes me, and there's a lot of questions about my work as well, because I always say I'm going to work and I never tell you guys where I'm working. I don't know why, but yeah. So where do I start? Okay, so when we moved back to Norway is a Norwegian speaking country, which means English is not the first language here, it's Norwegian. So in order for you to, Norway is probably, I don't know, there's a lot of questions about Norway. Norway is probably one of the hardest countries to get visa to come in. Like, because I'm married, it was easier. It was a little bit easier for me to come here. But even when I came, I was just given like 3-year resident. I was given 3 years residency permit. I was given national identity number and all of that. This 3 years residency, I have to renew every 3 years, and there is a criteria. After 3 years, if I meet this criteria, then I'll be given a Norwegian citizenship or a permanent residency. I have a permanent residency now, which means, yeah, I have permanent. Anyways, when you come here, you have to learn the language. If you don't learn the language, you cannot be part of this society. The language is your number one priority. You can't even get a work unless you're here and you have like a special skill and you're employed because of that special skill, and that special skill doesn't require you to interact with other people, because Norwegians speak English, but they don't like to speak English. The first thing they will speak, no matter the color of your skin tone, is Norwegian. And if you respond in English, they just move back. They take 2 steps back, and they won't talk to you as much as they would if you were speaking Norwegian. And you can't really get work. Maybe in Oslo, which is like the capital, because there's a lot of cafes and restaurants, so you could work in Oslo if you're just speaking English, but it's gonna be really hard for you to like communicate and interact with people. You're gonna be alone almost. So the first thing I did was to start Norwegian lessons. So even before I came back, my mother-in-law registered me in a Norwegian school so that I can start immediately to learn Norwegian. So immediately we returned. We moved back in December 2018. Yeah, we moved back from Bangkok to Norway December 2018. And after the Christmas holidays in January, I started learning Norwegian. So I was registered into a Norwegian school, and I started to learn the language because I won't be able to get a job. I won't be able to do anything until I learn this language. And I made it my mission to learn the language. And I started going to Norwegian school. I did go to Norwegian school for 2 years. 2 whole years I was studying Norwegian, and there are levels actually, and the Norwegian language is also a requirement for me if I want to get my citizenship or if I want to get my permanent residency. I have to learn. I have to have a Norwegian. There is different levels. There's one is A1, A2, and then there's B1, B2, and C1. I have B2, which is C1 is like the ultimate highest, but B2 and B1 is pretty good. If you have that, you can. If you have B1, you can get jobs at restaurants, cafes. You can get a job basically, which means because then everybody knows you can communicate, you can write and speak fluently in Norwegian, you can understand and everything. Anyways, so I did go to Norwegian school. I learned it. I was practicing. I was watching Norwegian TVs, children's TVs. Mind you, Lana was also an English-speaking girl, so she also had to learn the language, but she was just 2 years old. It was easier for her to learn the language in the kindergarten. They asked us, do you want us to speak English or Norwegian? In the kindergarten, they speak Norwegian to the kids, so she learned it like this. So my in-laws were speaking Norwegian to me. I was watching Norwegian TVs. I was trying to read Norwegian newspapers, watch the Norwegian news. So this is what I did while I was studying Norwegian. So each semester, I would take the Norwegian exam and I would pass these levels. So I was gradually progressing, and finally I got my B2. And this is like the exams is like writing, speaking, listening, and talking and speaking. It's like when you write a TOEFL exam. There's writing, there's speaking, there's listening, and there is what did I miss? Listening. Yeah. So I learned my language, and now I am part of this society. I also got my permanent residency. I've only lived here for 5 years, so I was fast. A lot of people, everywhere I go, people when they ask me, how long have you been living here? And I say 5-6 years, and they're like, really? And you speak Norwegian so fluently? Yeah, because I was dedicated. I had to learn it, so I learned it. That's how I speak Norwegian fluently. If you are ever planning on coming to Norway, you have to learn the language, and it's not an easy language to learn, and it's not easy for grown-ups to learn a new language, but it's a requirement. Even though you're coming to study here, bachelor's degree, you have to have B2 on all parts in order for you to be admitted into the university. If you're coming to do master's degrees, you probably don't need Norwegian to study for masters here, but the tuition, the payment is just because Norway is one of the highest expensive countries to live in. The cost of living here is so high you wouldn't even believe. Like, it is high. Like buying a bottle of milk, a bottle of milk probably like this is gonna cost you like 4,000 naira. It is an expensive country to live in, but they take care of their citizens. So that's it. School is free here, medical hospital is free here, yeah, it's a lot of good things about living in Norway. It's a great country to live in, so I'm very happy to be here, and I've become a Norwegian myself. Whew, let's move on to the next question. Another question is, how do I deal with the cold? There's a lot of questions about that, how I deal with the cold. Well, I love winter. In Nigeria, we only had like summer, and then we have rainy season. we have dry season, but I don't know. But it's mostly summer. So I was excited. I only saw snow in the TVs when I was in Nigeria. I never knew I would be living in a house that's surrounded by snow. But anyways, I was happy to be here. I am happy to be here. I love the weather. I love that it changes from winter, from this cold, really cold snow and everything, to spring. spring, and you can tell that now is spring. The air is a bit is small. It smells a little bit. It smells so fresh. Like it's a feeling you get in spring, and spring is basically March, April, and May, and then you have summer, which is June, July, August, and then you have autumn, which is September, October, November, and then you have winter, which is December, January, and February. But for a country like Norway, winter it lasts like 6 months. So basically, it starts to snow from November up until it's still snowing now. Like there was snow like two days ago. It's supposed to be spring. So and the snow doesn't go away until like May or something. So and it's still cold. Today is like -2 degrees and it's supposed to be spring, but the sun is shining. In winter we don't get a lot of sun. The sun comes up quite late and goes down quite early. Comes up like 10 a.m. and then it goes down like 2:30. So 3 o'clock is already dark. 4 o'clock is dark. 5 o'clock is like midnight. Oh my god. Yeah, so and the time zone between Nigeria and Norway is the same. The only difference is we during summer we take the 1 hour back. We go one hour back, so we are like 1 hour different from Nigeria. But that's because we want to preserve the day. Time change or whatever it is called. Oh, I'm not doing this makeup. I need to do my eyeliner and then I'll go on with the next question. So now you've known about the cold and everything. Let's find the next question. The rest of the questions are just the same thing. The question is how do you cope with the cold weather over there? Like I said, I love the changes of the weather. I love the cold as long as you're dressed properly. It's very important to wear the right clothes. In Norway, because we have 4 seasons, we have 4 different kinds of clothing. So in winter we wear wool. Like you have to wear thick wool. That's why I'm always wearing sweaters and jackets. And in your pants you have to also wear like a tight underneath your pants to protect you from the cold, because it's very cold. So I got wearing wool was something I have to get used to. I use like merino wool or something. Anyways, the whole idea is you need to dress properly. You need to dress according to the temperature. People are always here. The weather is very important. Like before you leave your house in the morning, you have to check how is the weather today. Is it cold? How cold it is? Obviously it's cold, but how cold it is. You have to dress properly. When people are wearing jeans, they are wearing like tights underneath your jeans to protect them from the cold. Otherwise your thighs might freeze. It's happened to me before. Okay, so next question is what do I do when I go to work? Okay, so I work because I haven't finished my university. I had 1 year left, and I'm gonna start studying at the university in my city. Because now I am finally qualified with my Norwegian, because it's taught in Norwegian. The bachelor's degrees are taught in Norwegian in the universities here. So you have to, if you don't speak Norwegian, you can have a bachelor's degree in Norway. But the masters most of them are taught in English. But so I finally have my papers, like my Norwegian requirements. So I have applied to finish my university. But in the meantime, I did sometime between me learning Norwegian and stuff, I got a job at the hotel here. So one of the here is a small city, so there isn't that many hotels, but the big one, or the main hotel, not the big one, it's not that big, the main hotel, I got a job here because of my experience, because I worked at the Ritz-Carlton, which was like amazing, really got my CV that I worked at Ritz-Carlton, they gave me the job at once. So I work at the main hotel in my city. It's called Grand Hotel. This is where I work. I work there as the team leader for the buffet, the breakfast and lunch. So that's why you guys you guys are wondering where I work. This is where I work. And in this place we also have a cafe where I also work sometimes on Saturdays. At this cafe I learned how to be a barista. So I make like coffees like cappuccino, cafe latte, all these fancy coffees. So sometimes on Saturdays this is where I work. I think next time I go to work on a Saturday I will show you guys. But I work in a hotel because I have this amazing experience in my CV. So they gave me the job at once. So I work as a team leader for the breakfast and lunch buffet in the hotel. That's where I work. that is where I work basically. Oh, the makeup is turning nice. I love the liner. Okay, next question. I got a few questions asking me why I don't involve my husband in my videos. Okay, Henrik is not your YouTube influencer, YouTube husband or boyfriend. It's not my boyfriend. He doesn't like the camera. He really doesn't like it. Sometimes he shows up. Sometimes he just tells me, please don't show me. And I respect that. I'm not gonna force my husband to film videos with me just because I see a lot of interracial couples on Instagram. Henrik, I didn't tell you. So when we came back to Norway, he was immediately offered a job as the climate change advisor for my city because of his experience at the UN, because they were working with the UN in a development program. So they go to the UN. The UN. When I say the UN, it's not the UN army. I know a lot of people associate the UN with the army, but no, it's the UN. UNDP. So he worked with the sustainable life and whatever living. So he was given the job as the climate change advisor here in my city, Yorvik, where we live. So he's not a camera person. He doesn't like it. Sometimes he does it because, like, when I ask him to please take photo with me and the kids, he will take photos. But when it comes to vlogging and me doing YouTube and everything, he supports me 100%. But it's not for him. He doesn't like being in camera. So I respect him, and I get questions asking why I don't show him. He's not a camera person. Not everybody is. And my Instagram and YouTube is about me and my life, not really about my husband. He's gonna be in the background, which you guys see sometimes. So he's not against me filming, but he just don't want to be in camera. So yeah, that's why you guys don't see him in my videos, because he's not fond of it. And not everybody is, and that is okay. That is okay. Next question. Somebody asked me, do I go back to Nigeria? Actually, I guess you guys are new to my Instagram, and we went back home in 2019, just before I was pregnant with Mika. We went back home for 2 weeks. Mika wasn't born, so it was Lana, me, Henrik's mother and father. We were home for 2 weeks in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt. If you go back to my Instagram and scroll back to 2019, you will find photos of us in Nigeria. So yeah, that was the last time I went home. I haven't been home since then. I mean, after 2019, I was pregnant. I got pregnant after we returned, we were back in Nigeria. I think we were there from the last week of April to the first week of May. So we were there for 2 weeks with Henrik's parents as well, and after that we had COVID, and I got pregnant. So I haven't been home since then. I haven't been home since COVID. I haven't been home since I had Mika. It's been 3 years now. Mika is turning 3 years in a week. So I have plans to go back home soon with everyone, including Henrik. So you guys should keep an eye on that. We are all going home together soon. Now that Mika, I've been avoiding taking Mika on the plane because I remember when Lana was in Nigeria, the plane ride wasn't a good experience. So I don't want to experience that again. It was very, very, very hectic with Lana on the plane and the airports. So we tried to wait for Mika to be old enough so we can go back for a visit. My sister was supposed to come and visit me, but she couldn't because then she got pregnant. Ugh. My mother was supposed to come soon. My mother is gonna come soon actually. She's gonna come and spend like a year here with me. I can bring my family to stay for a while if I want to, because I have like a permanent residency here in Norway, and my permanent residency gives me the right to bring my family. But my family, my sisters are all married and they have children, so they can't really just travel whenever they feel like it. Or my other sister has 4 kids, the other one has 4 kids, the other one has 2 kids. So and then my two brothers, he has he has his business. It's not like they can just leave, but they can always come for visit, but they have their own lives and everything. One of my other brothers is married to an American and he lives in New York. We are planning to go visit him soon, so not soon, but at some point. At some point. Yeah, so they can just come, even though they have lives and they have their own things going on. But we talk every day on WhatsApp, video calls. My mother sees her grandchildren. My father and my mother are not together anymore. So I have stepbrothers and sisters in Nigeria. That's a common polygamous family. My stepbrother is the one that is married to an American, and he lives in New York. But we are very close. All my brothers and sisters, we are very close. So that's that. The question is answered. Let's find another one. Question about my hair. I have a natural hair. Yes, I used to have relaxed hair, but then I cut it off. I cut it off in 2019, I think, and then I started to grow my natural hair again. So I have a natural hair. My natural hair is fussy, blah blah blah. I don't do anything to my hair, to be honest with you. And today I just did a reels. You guys will see it because I'm wearing the same sweater. I did a reel of me doing this. I've done it before. I don't really do anything special to my hair. I can't do the hairstyle that I want. I can braid it because there isn't that many salons that can do my hair type. So I try to do something simple to my hair, and I don't use so much products. Seriously, I shampoo my hair once, maybe two times a month, and I co-wash my hair once a week. Like today I co-washed it, and when I mean co-wash, I use conditioner and just a leave-in conditioner. That's all I use. When I wash my hair properly, I use shampoo and hair mask, and my products change. I don't have a special kind of product that I use. I just do what I don't have any tricks, sister. I really don't have any tricks. I just do the same thing every single time. And I don't know, my hair is not really growing, but it's healthy. It's not growing because I'm not doing any braids to it, but it is healthy, which is very important. I guess I can braid my hair myself because I know how to do that, but I haven't been able to do that because I'm lazy. But when I have time, I do braid my hair. Yeah, that's my hair. And the product that I use gel when I do this all back. I did a reel, so you guys will see the reel soon, maybe first before this video. But you will see the reels where I did my my slick bun, this slick bun that I have on right now. And yeah, I don't know, have I answered all the questions? I think I have. I got like 80 questions, and all of them are just identical. It's almost like you guys had like a meeting or something to ask these questions, because everything is someone said, why did you leave Nigeria? How can one get work abroad? Working in Norway is not like working in the UK or working in America. Norway is a very hard country to come into, and for getting a visa here is pretty difficult. It's not that easy. I wish it was, but if you manage to come here, you can always, if you apply for a job to come to Norway and stay here, you have to like get like a work visa, and that's not really easy for us Africans, because you know that the people who come here for work are people from the neighboring countries like Poland, all these Eastern Europeans. Eastern Europeans are the ones that work all the jobs here, like the jobs that are not like in the office kind of jobs. So all the other kinds of jobs like bus driving and restaurants, and this is filled with Eastern Europeans. So because they don't need a visa to come here, they just come here because they are part of the EU and the UAA, I think, something like that. So they always come here. But for people in like Africans to get a job here, it's very hard because they don't want to deal with it. It's a lot of they have to, you need to have like an employment letter, and the person employing you needs to showcase that why they are employing you, why they can't find the person here. You know what I mean? So it's not easy to come to Norway. It's really not easy. I know this. I have even tried to get a job for my brother, but it's been really hard, even though he has like a special skill. It's still, but my brother doesn't need to come here. He has a much better life in Nigeria. For him to come here, he needs to learn the language before he like adapt to it. It's just a stress. They can only come to visit me and enjoy the weather or whatever, but just the experience. But to come here to live as an African, it's very difficult. It's very hard. Even to study, if you want to do bachelor's degrees, you have to learn the language. Like I said before, if you want to do masters, you need to have you need to take like a TOEFL exam and score like 100, and then the money, the living expenses, it's insane. The cost of studying here, like you gotta have someone rich to sponsor you. Like every Norwegian, that they all take like even though the university is free, but they all take like student loans so they can have some money while they are studying. I am also going to take a student loan so I can study here. Okay, I think we are all done with the questions. Someone would like more video with my husband. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Henry would not want to. You're gonna see him sometime, but he's not gonna. Just doing a video with him, no. And another question: how do you cope there? Yeah, I think I've already said that. I adapted really nicely here, and like I said, it's nice to have change of weather, like the seasons changing. This, the seasons here is nice because it's not just summer, so you can always change. And the best thing is my clothes doesn't get so old because I have like dresses I bought last summer that I didn't get to wear last summer because it started to get cold. So when you buy clothes for summer, you put it away at a certain time and you don't touch it for maybe like 5 6 months, and then it's like you get to wear your clothes, but it's quite expensive here because you have to buy clothes for summer, spring, autumn, and winter. So there are so many different kinds of clothes. How you dress. In spring, it's still cold, but it's not as cold as winter, but it's still cold. So you kind of reduce the amount of wool, the amount of layering. In summer it's very warm. People are with t-shirts and like dresses, and in autumn it starts to get a bit chilly, and then people wear a little bit lighter jackets and thinner wool like I'm wearing now, and then winter comes, people wear thicker wool and thicker jackets, winter coats and winter boots. So living here, the cost of living is really really expensive because you have to think about all of these things. But life here is good. When you get the salaries are good, but you spend a lot in food and gas and electricity. Electricity bill here is insane. It's like paying 200,000 naira a month in electricity. That's what we pay. Sometimes we pay at 350,000 naira a month in electricity, and we live in a big house at 3 to 4 bedrooms, I think. A lot of people even pay more. Apartments here, we decided to buy a house because apartments are expensive. But anyways, I think I have answered all the questions because everyone asks basically the same thing. So that's the end of this. You get to know me. If I didn't answer any question, just let me know in the comment section, and I will try to answer it in the next vlog. My name is Amarachi Grace Jacobson. I'm from River State. My mother is Imo. My mother is from Imo State, Owerri. My father is married to 2 wives, and I have stepbrothers and sisters. I am the second youngest in my family. My mother has 7 kids, and I'm the number 6. I have 4 elder sisters who are all married with children. My brother is not married. I have a younger brother who is also not married, of course. I am 31 years old. My birthday is October 12th, 1991. I have 2 children, Mika and Lana, and Mika will be 3 years old in a week because his birthday is 5th of April 2020. Lana will be 8 years old in August 1st. So am I having another child? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any plans now, but we'll see how it goes in the future. I would love to have a girl, one more girl, because I would like to have 2 girls and a boy. But you never know what you get, do you? But whichever one I get, I will be happy. But I'm not having any child now. So yeah. My mother asked this question not that long ago. She said Mika is big enough, he's old enough. When are you gonna have one? I'm like, I'm not giving birth to 7 children like you. Okay, my makeup is done. I hope I answered all your questions, guys. Leave me a comment below if I haven't answered any question, and we will talk about it next. Setting spray. Ooh. Oh, I think that's good. I think that's it. Oof. Was this long? Or did I don't know. Was it long? Was it long? Alright guys, now you've gotten to know me a little bit better, how my life changed since the day that man asked me if I would like to work abroad. It was just God's he was God sent. He was. And here I am. It's been 10 years since that day. And yeah. So guys, thank you so much for all your love and support in my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I see your comments and I know who you are, and I will continue to know who you are as we grow in this channel. I will keep posting my videos and hoping that everything is gonna go well. Thank you guys. My battery is dying. Oh my god. Yeah, bye guys, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye. Oh shit.